From Washington, this is VOA News. Gunfire erupts a U.S. military base in Texas. Chile assesses damage from Tuesday's major earthquake. I'm Ray Kouguell reporting from Washington. Authorities at the U.S. Army base at Fort Hood, Texas, say gunfire has erupted at the facility and that several people are wounded. Officials at the huge base, the scene of a mass shooting in 2009, confirmed Wednesday's incident after it was first reported on social media. The military statement offered no other details. Area news outlets are reporting multiple injuries. Nearby civilian police agencies are reportedly searching vehicles and sealing the perimeter of the base located south of the city of Waco. Tens of thousands of Chileans who fled to higher ground Tuesday after a powerful offshore earthquake triggered Pacific tsunami warnings are going back to their homes as authorities survey the damage. The 8.2 magnitude quake, which killed at least 6 people, struck about 100 kilometers off the country's sparsely populated northwest coast, triggering tsunami warnings as far away as Japan. The warnings were canceled several hours later. Police and soldiers patrolled northern coastal areas of Chile to prevent looting. Chilean President Michelle Bachelet toured the area Wednesday, declaring it a disaster zone. Russia is accusing NATO of reverting to Cold War rhetoric and tactics by suspending cooperation with Russia over its seizure of Ukraine's Crimea region. Foreign Ministry spokesman Alexander Lukashevich says that NATO's language on the issue resembled, in his words, the verbal jousting of the Cold War era. NATO foreign ministers have announced they would officially end all civilian and military cooperation with Russia. A suicide bomber tried to ram his way into Afghanistan's Interior Ministry Wednesday, killing at least 6 policemen who were outside the compound. It is the latest in a series of attacks, adding to the tension surrounding the April 5th presidential election. VOA Sharon Bain reports.
The large explosion shook the Afghan capital. A suicide bomber dressed in a military uniform detonated his explosives at the entrance of Afghanistan's Interior Ministry. The Taliban quickly claimed responsibility for the attack. The Interior Ministry said the suicide attacker blew himself up after security personnel recognized him as he tried to enter the highly fortified compound. A number of people were waiting at the entrance when the bomb went off. The blast was the latest in a series of bloody militant strikes in the capital that have left police, election officials, journalists, and children dead across the city. Sharon Bain, VOA News, Kabul.
3 bombs exploded outside Cairo University in Egypt Wednesday, killing a senior police general and a civilian, and wounding several others. There's been no claim of responsibility. Malaysia's national police chief says all 227 passengers aboard the jet airliner that vanished last month have been cleared of wrongdoing, but authorities continue to investigate the 2 pilots and other crew members. Inspector General Khalid Abu Bakr says investigators need more time to try to determine why Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 vanished 25 days ago while on a flight from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott says his country is committed to finding out what happened to that airplane.
It's one of the great mysteries of our time. It's a terrible tragedy. There are 239 devastated families. There are a lot of very concerned people right around the world, and Australia is leading the search and recovery effort, as is right, given that it all happened in our search and rescue zone. We owe it to the world, we owe it to those families to do whatever we reasonably can to get to the bottom of this.
And time is running out to detect the signal from the missing plane's flight data recorders, whose battery power usually lasts only 30 days. Sri Lanka banned 16 Tamil groups in exile, including the Tamil Tigers, for alleged terrorism. The Colombo government froze the assets of the organizations and barred citizens from supporting them or having any contact. Sri Lanka says it's acting under a UN Security Council resolution that steps up the fight against terrorism by trying to cut off funding for terror groups. The International Monetary Fund says the global economy is improving after the world's 2008 downturn, but that it is much too weak for comfort. Speaking in Washington Wednesday, IMF chief Christine Lagarde warned that the standoff between the West and Russia over Moscow's annexation of Ukraine's Crimean Peninsula and other political crises could hinder economic growth. I'm Ray Kouguell, VOA News. More at voanews.com.